Hey, teacher friends, welcome so much. I am so glad to be here with you guys. My name is Kara Rickman, and I am the founder of Create Your Balance with Literacy. And I'm so excited to be here with y'all today. Welcome to everybody who's hopping on and tell us where you're from and what grade you teach. That would be amazing. Hey, Allison, I'm so glad you're here. And I have a lot of exciting announcements for y'all today. This one is probably the biggest one I'm going to share with you right now. Is going to be in the summertime. I'm giving a back to school boot camp in July, and I'm so excited about it. And I would love for you guys to be a part of it. Now, if you're already in my teacher membership, you get in for free. You do not have to pay at all. So that is one of the perks of being in my teacher membership. So in the boot camp, you will get lesson plans with objectives, suggested mentor text, anchor charts, differentiated interactive notebooks, and how to teach the I do, we do, and you do, all for the first 10 days of school. Okay? So you're going to get the first 10 days of reading and writing and math and science and social studies and phonics, plus building relationships with students and parents, plus classroom organizational tips and tricks. Okay? So I will include training videos that will walk you through step by step on how to get your class started for the first 10 days. So these training videos are going to be on a platform called Kajabi. You can watch them anytime that you want to. And I will be coming on live in a private Facebook group, which is my teacher membership Facebook group. And I will be coming on live to answer questions for Q&As and giving away gift cards and TPT gift cards and just having really lots of fun and collaborating and giving away resources for your classroom. So in the comments, I'm going to be putting a link to sign up on my wait list. So I have a wait list going on right now. And some of you have already signed up for my wait list. And if you're interested, I will be sending you an email as the time gets closer. Okay. My back to school boot camp is one of my biggest courses that I've given all year long. It is one of the best. I get a lot of compliments about it. A lot of teachers get really excited to be a part of the boot camp. So I would love for you guys to be a part of it too. And again, if you're a part of my teacher membership, you get in it for free. Okay. That is so exciting. So exciting. So stay tuned for the link. I'm going to be copying that into the comments in just a minute. Hey, Jill, I'm so glad you're here. So Allison teaches first grade in Houston. Awesome. So glad to have you, Allison. So if you, like I said, are part of my teacher membership, all of the resources I'm going to share with you today are in my teacher membership under the April resources. Okay. So under the April resource module, you can find resources for Easter, Rainforest, Endangered Animals, Life Cycles, Insects, Earth Day, Plants, and many, many more. Okay. Lots of story companions for such as the Easter egg or Thunder Cake or the Easter Bunny's assistant or the Great K-pop tree. All those story companions are also in the April resource module. So make sure you go and check that out. Okay. So this is exciting news. This is also a webinar series that I give every month. And so the next webinar is going to be at the end of April, and this is going to be all about cross-curricular fun for May. I can't believe I'm saying that. Oh my gosh, this year has just flown by. And so stay tuned for that one. It's going to include Hans Christian Andersen, Grimm Brothers, and Charles Perrault author study, fairy tale writing unit, oceans and beach, rocks and fossils, Mother's Day activities, and end of year activities. Okay. So those are some really exciting things to look forward to. And I can't wait to share them with you. Okay. So that's going to be the one for May. Now, if you're commenting today, you could win these free resources that you have a choice of winning. So I'm going to go through each one real quick so you can look at them and see what they are. This one is almost gone. It's an endangered animal research and writing unit. This one has lap books that you can do research with your kids, and they can do research with interactive notebooks or with writing templates, and then you can staple them inside of the lap books. They're super fun. They love them. I just finished a animal research writing unit on Texas animals last week with my kids, and they all made lap books, and they had such a blast making these. So they're really fun. Or you can win my Easter Writing Center, which is also part of my subscription box. And I give out a subscription box that has either my Writing Center or my Math Center. And this is the Easter Writing Center that you could win today if you're commenting. And it's got shape books, it's got sticker stories, it has making a list, writing a letter, a postcard, a how-to story, a shape book. Lots of fun things for your Writing Center. This one is called Rainforest Research. It's a thematic unit, cross-curricular unit. It's got like 20 days of lesson plans with objectives. It has suggested mentor text, interactive notebooks, writing templates, science investigations, math investigations, all different kinds of things for rainforests that you can go do with your kids. And that is really, really fun. Or you can win the Easter Bunny's Assistant. Now, this one is a story companion. And if you don't know the story about the Easter Bunny's Assistant, it's about a little skunk who wants to be the Easter Bunny's assistant. He's trying to help him dye eggs, and every time he gets excited, he sprays. And the Easter Bunny gets really frustrated with him. And it's just a really cute little story about the skunk trying to be the Easter Bunny. So it's really funny, and the kids really love it. So you can win any 4 of these if you are commenting. And at the very, very end today, I'm going to be picking one lucky teacher who is commenting. Okay, so keep those comments coming. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comments and I can answer you. So this is my kitchen center for April. My kitchen center is all about procedural writing. So I've got recipe pages, how-to pages. So I have these little crates that I got from Walmart. And then inside the crates, I have these little trays, and these are teal trays. I always fill them with different things the kids can make. So for example, they can make ice cream, and over here they can make an Easter basket, and then they can draw little Easter cookies with Easter cookie cutters. They can make a cookie out of that, and they can draw an Easter cookie, and they can also play with Easter eggs. These are like Melissa and Doug Easter eggs that are like, oh, I bet they're wooden, and they're not really breakable or anything, but they can play with the eggs and they can pretend to fill the baskets. And then over here I have these little trays that are filled with little chicks and carrots and bunnies and Easter eggs. And so it's really, really fun. I love my kitchen center. They love the kitchen center. It's one of their favorite centers of all. And then this is my Easter Writing Center. It says Excellent Writing. And this is one of the resources you can win today if you're commenting. So over here we have, I can write a how-to story. I can write an Easter card. I can write a list. I can write a shape book. I can write a postcard. I can write a sticker story. I can write a poem. I can write a letter. And then I have this little shelf, this divider shelf at the bottom that has all of these different templates that they can choose from. They can choose a shape book. They can choose the Easter list. They can choose the Easter letter. They can choose the sticker story. So whatever they want to do, they can choose one of the templates to write on. And then I have this cute little cup that has all of the Easter pins in it that they can use to write on. And then I have Post-it notes that are Easter themed. They're all Easter eggs. And then I have Easter stickers, and then I have Easter cards that they can use for my writing center. Okay? So, welcome, Debbie. I'm so glad you're here. Hey, Mom. I'm so glad you're here. So, oh, thank you for the excellent writing. It is awesome. Oh, good, Debbie. I'm so glad you got your subscription box. That makes me happy. That's awesome. So this is going to be my units for April. These are just suggestions, and you do not have to do all of these, but you can, pick and choose what you want. And in Texas, these are all aligned with our scope and sequence with our TEACS resource and our curriculum. So, for example, the units for April can include insects with life cycles, plants with life cycles. Persuasive writing can go with Earth Day. Easter can go with Patricia Polacco. Endangered Animal Research can also go with persuasive writing. And then, of course, you have fractions, you have telling time, and you have measurement also with math. Okay, so those are some really fun units that you can do for April. So I'm going to start with Patricia Polacco. I love Patricia Polacco. She's one of my favorite authors. You can read Babushka's Doll, Mrs. Mack, Mr. Lincoln's Way. Thank you, Mr. Falker. Just Plain Fancy, Thunder Cake, Rachinka's Eggs, Pink and Say. And then if you really love Patricia Polacco, you can have her as one of your author studies. If you have a bulletin board that you can switch out an author study every month, you can put her name, you can put her picture, you can put the different books that she writes, just copy them on a colored printer and then laminate them. And then some craftivities that you can do for Patricia Polacco are how to dye an Easter egg, okay, for Rachinka's Eggs. So you can use this project right here, which is also a dollar deal in my GPT store today. And by the way, all the April resources that I'm sharing with you right now are all 50% off. So if you go up to the very, very top and there's a link that's for my Teachers Pay Teachers store, and it's going to show you all my April resources that are all 50% off. Let's see. Jill says, I use your Almost Gone resource every year as well as the Rainforest resource too. Oh, good, Jill. I'm so glad that you use that. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's amazing. So you can also do a cloud study with weather if you read Thundercake. And so they can make different kinds of clouds with their cotton balls. They can make nimbus, stratus, cirrus clouds, cumulus clouds with their cotton balls. And if you really want to get creative, then you could actually make a thunder cake. If you want to make one at home, there is a very simple recipe at the back of the story. Now, if you're not familiar with thunder cake, it's about Patricia when she was a little girl. She's afraid of thunderstorms. And so her grandmother, Babushka, she lives in Montana, and she helps her overcome her fear of thunderstorms. It's actually a true story. And she collects all of the different ingredients that she needs for her thunder cake. And so in the back of the story, there's a recipe. So if you want to make one at home and then bring it for the kids to try, or you can make one in the classroom if you have access to an oven at school. Also, there is a how to make a thunder cake in my TPT store. And so they can write first, then next, last, and finally. And then they can make the topper that looks like the thunder cake. It's super cute. Okay. Here are also some Patricia Polacco interactive notebooks. Here's the thunder cake one that's about text connections. They're going to write text to self, text to text, text to world, write a sentence about each one. And then Rachinka's Eggs, they're going to write the theme. They can write always and never. Whenever I do theme with my class, I always give them a sentence starter. And I always tell them to start with always. What should the character always do? What should the character never do? Okay. And then this is the template about how to dye Easter eggs that goes with the writing craftivity, first, then next, and last. And then here's some story elements. So what I would do is suggest that you do is shrink these down to about 87 or 86% so they fit in your journal or your composition notebooks. Okay. Let's see. Allison says, my class loved Thunder Cake this week. Oh, I'm so glad, Allison. Yay. I love it. Thanks for sharing. So we're going to move on to Rainforests. I love Rainforests. This is one of my favorite units that I teach in during the school year. It's one of my favorites. There's so much that you can cover inside of Rainforest. So for example, one of the most obvious things you can talk about is habitats, right? The rainforest habitat, the layers of the rainforest, all the animals that live there, and then also talk about endangered animals, why they are endangered, what can we do to save the rainforest. And you can also talk about life cycles. So for example, life cycle of the blue morphle butterfly, the life cycle of the red-eyed tree frog, and so on and so on. So these are some really great stories you can read. Rainforest by Helen Coucher, Welcome to the Greenhouse. The Great Kapok Tree is perfect for persuasive writing. We're roaming in the rainforest. The rainforest grew all around. Who is the Beast by Keith Baker. And then Jan Brett has the umbrella, which is super cute. It's a lot like the mitten. This is my theme center. And it's actually, this is what it looks like right now because I just changed it on Friday. So I have the tidal rainforest here, and then I have these pictures of all the endangered animals that are in the rainforest, such as the lemur, the spider monkey, the orangutan, the gorilla, the okapi, the jaguar, the sloth. And then I have the blue morpho butterfly, the ladybug, and the praying mantis, because we do those life cycles as well. And so on the top shelf, I have the life cycle plastic figures for them to look at. And I have plastic fruit that come from the rainforest, such as bananas and oranges and lemons. And then I have this tree, this big rainforest tree that has all the different plastic animals that goes with the tree. And then underneath here, I have plastic animals they can play with, such as lizards, so crocodiles, macaws, frogs. I have stencils they can play with. They can trace around animals. I have a big puzzle that they can make. All different kinds of things they can do with the theme center. I usually have puppets. I usually have puzzles. I usually have books they can read. And I switch my theme center out every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on the theme. So I'm really excited to start Rainforest tomorrow. That's one of my favorites. And these are some writing craftivities for Rainforest. I've done these 2 different ways because in our scope and sequence, we are doing poetry right now. So I have my kids write a rainforest poem. It says, "Come and see the rainforest. It looks like blank. It smells like blank. It feels like blank. It sounds like blank. It has blank, and it is blank." So here's an example of one of my kids from last year. She says, "It looks like a wet forest. It smells like rain. It feels like rainy. It sounds like noisy animals. It has 4 layers. It is wet and humid." So that's a sensory poem that they can do with the rainforest. Or you can have them write a persuasive story. If you're doing persuasive text right now, persuasive genres, you can have them write about how to save the rainforest and give 3 reasons why they should save the rainforest. And then the craft on the side here is that they just cut out 4 strips of brown stems for the trees. And then they're going to make some clouds, like green clouds, out of green construction paper. They're just going to cut them out. They design them how they want to. And then I have these layers, these labels they're going to glue on. Emergent layer, the canopy, the understory, the forest floor. And then they're going to glue these animals onto the right layers to show where they live in the rainforest. So super cute. Another thing I like to do when I do writing craftivities or any projects is I like to put their pictures on the craft right here. You can see the little girl's picture at the top. And so that way they can have their picture. That way I know exactly who it belongs to in case they forget their name. So they know where the pictures are in the classroom. So they go get their photograph and then they glue their photograph on the top. And then these are persuasive planning documents, templates that I have in the writing part of the thematic unit here. So this is persuasive planning. The first part says, write your argument. And then they're going to give reason number 1, reason number 2, reason number 3. And then in conclusion, then they're going to tell me a conclusion sentence. And after they do this planning page, they're going to copy that onto their story. Can we save the rainforest? Or they can write a letter. Here's some letter templates at the bottom too. They can write a letter to the president, or they can write a letter to the people of the world. And then we talk about different people that we can write letters to with persuasive writing. And this is a home project. You can have your kids make a rainforest diorama. This is super fun. This is also in my TPT store. And this was my daughter Kennedy when she was in 1st grade in my class. And this is the rainforest diorama that we made together as a home project. So you're going to need some tissue boxes or shoe boxes, but they have to be the same size. Okay. You're going to need some toilet paper rolls. You're going to need green spray paint. And you're going to need some ferns, some plants like foliage or whatever that you can hot glue onto the different layers to create the different habitats. And then you can also use plastic animals. You can get plastic animals off of Amazon or at Walmart or Hobby Lobby. And then you can glue the little plastic animals onto the correct layer. And then I have these labels that you can color. You can cut them out and then you can glue them on the side of the boxes to create a rainforest diorama. These are super cute and it's really fun to display these in your hallway. Or you can also display them in your school library. They look super cute. Okay, so the next part is endangered animals. So these are some of my favorite read alouds I love to read for endangered animals. You can read Almost Gone, Endangered Animals, A to Z, Endangered Animals, The Great Kapok Tree, The ABCs of Endangered Animals, If Sharks Disappeared, It's My World 2, and Don't Let Them Disappear. Okay, so these are the lap books that I was talking to you guys about earlier. You can have your kids make a lap book that is their research project. I love these lap books. They're super easy to make, and they're different than any other project that you probably have made before. I know some of you watching have already made these, but they never get old. My kids love them. So you can get these colored folders. These are file folders. You can get a box of them off of Amazon. You can get all blue or all yellow or all purple, any color that you want. And the kids can create the cover of their lap book and they can create their endangered animal. So over here I have an elephant, I have the spider monkey, the cheetah, the sloth, the lemur, the giant panda, the koala. Now these animals don't particularly have to be from the rainforest. They can be from anywhere in the world. For example, the giant panda is from China and the koala bear is from Australia. So they can be anywhere around the world that you want them to be. So it doesn't have to be the rainforest. It could be anywhere. These are some of the templates that you can have them glue in. So for example, here is the map of the continents. They're going to color the continent where their endangered animal is from. Okay. And then this is the endangered animal choice board. Now you don't have to do this, but sometimes I like to give them choices. I give them 4 choices to draw to kind of like narrow down what they want to research. So, because sometimes kids have a hard time narrowing down what they want to do, which animal they really, really like. So sometimes I just tell them, okay, draw your 4 favorite ones, and then you can pick your favorite one from those 4. This is a diagram of the animal. They're going to label the different parts of the animal. Here's another persuasive planning guide if you want to have them write about saving this animal as a persuasive writing craftivity. Then all you do is you staple these inside the lap book, and then you can have them flip each page up. So it's kind of like a flip book that's inside of the lap book, okay? And then this one down here says my animal research report, and then they're going to write their endangered animal in the blank, and then it says what is its diet, what is its habitat, what continent does it live on, this animal has fur, feathers, or scales. This animal is a reptile, a mammal, a bird, or a fish. How long can it live, and who are its predators? Then they're going to draw the animal as in the diagram right here, and then they're going to draw the habitat and color it. Okay? So that's really, really fun for endangered animals if you want to do research. Okay, moving on to Easter. I can't believe Easter is already a week away. That's crazy. It is so crazy. And I counted, we only have 38 more days of school. Comment below and tell me how many days of school you guys have. I would love to know. Okay, so mentor texts for Easter these are my favorites. Okay, The Easter Egg by Jan Brett, of course. The Easter Bunny's Assistant. The Golden Egg Book. How to Catch the Easter Bunny. Happy Easter, Peter. The Story of the Easter Bunny. The Night Before Easter. Richinka's Eggs, of course. And 10 Easter eggs also. Oh, Allison says 37 more days. Wow, that's exciting, Allison. Hi, Gina. I'm so glad you're here. Gina is from Newark, Ohio. Awesome. Welcome, Gina. Awesome. All right, so these are some craftivities you can do for Easter. If y'all just hopped on, I would love to know how many days of school you guys have left. If you can tell me in the comments, that would be awesome. So these are some writing craftivities you can do for Easter. So this little Easter bunny over here is a persuasive one that is all about, I want to be the Easter Bunny. So they're going to fill out a Easter Bunny application. They're going to show how they can decorate an Easter egg. And I'll show you about that in just a minute. Or they can write about my Easter chick, or they can write about how to decorate Easter eggs, how to decorate an Easter basket, how to make an Easter basket, my Easter lamb, how to catch the Easter bunny. And these are all 50% off in my TPT store. There's already a link in the comments, you guys, so you can click on it. Look at the very, very top of the comments. Okay. So here's the Easter Bunny application I was telling you about earlier. They're going to decorate an Easter egg right here at the top. Then they're going to draw themselves as the Easter Bunny. And then, why should you be the next Easter Bunny? So they're going to write why they should be the next Easter Bunny. And then there's some questions. It says, are you good at hide and seek? Yes or no? Can you be quiet? Yes or no? Can you wiggle your nose? Yes or no? Do you like to travel the world? Yes or no? What's your favorite jelly bean flavor? And can you hop? Yes or no? So those are super cute. Debbie says 70 more days. Wow. That's a lot, Debbie. Of course, I know you're in Canada, so I know y'all have a little bit of a different schedule than we do. Are you guys on a year-long schedule, Debbie? Y'all have year-long school? I wonder if y'all do. This one is all about Easter Bunny's assistant. This is the persuade, inform, entertain for author's purpose. And then they draw a picture at the bottom. This one is, if I were the Easter Bunny, I would wish. They're going to write their 4 wishes. And then how to dye Easter eggs, first, then, next, and last. How to catch the Easter Bunny. They're going to write the materials and supplies they need to catch the Easter Bunny. And then first, then, next, and last. Oh, okay, Debbie, yes. She says yes. They're on a full year. Okay, that makes sense. And then the Easter egg story elements, character setting, problem, and solution. So these are all in my TPT store. And if you're in my teacher membership, so Allison and Debbie, y'all are already in my membership, and you can look under the April resource module. And all of these are in there for y'all, okay? So have fun looking at all those. Okay, we're going to move on to persuasive writing. So we are going to be doing persuasive writing in a couple more weeks after we do poetry, because we're going to do poetry first. And so some of my favorite persuasive writing are books, read-alouds are The Easter Bunny's Assistant, I Want an Iguana, I Want to Go Home, Hey Little Ant, and I Want a New Room, The Great Kapok Tree, What Pet Should I Get, Why Should I Recycle, and What If Everybody Did That? Okay? So persuasive writing is really, really fun, and some teachers are kind of afraid of it because it might seem a little hard, but you know, all you really have to do is ask the kids, how many of you have ever asked mom and dad for a toy? And when has it ever had a time in your life when you had to persuade mom that you really, really want this toy? Well, everyone's going to raise their hand because there has been some time in their life where they really, really want a toy. They have begged mom and dad to get a toy, and they just keep begging over and over and over again, right? And they just cannot stop begging. So then you say, okay, well, guess what? You have already persuaded your mom and dad. You just don't know it, but you have. So these are some sentence starters that I put on my pocket chart. You can say, in my opinion, I believe, I prefer, everyone should, I think, I feel, and the best thing about. Okay? So that's what they can start with their argument. Okay? So for example, if they're writing about how to save the rainforest, they're going to write their argument. They can say, in my opinion, we should save the rainforest because, or the best thing about the rainforest is blah, 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 that it has medicine and it has fruits and vegetables and food. And so they can use those sentence starters to write their argument. Okay. Same for the Easter Bunny application. Why should you be the next Easter Bunny? Well, in my opinion, or I believe, or the best thing about me being the Easter Bunny is, so it kind of helps them gather their thoughts a little bit. So it's really good to have a word bank. I love having word banks. So what I do is I take these pictures, I take these cards, I laminate them, I cut them apart, and I put them on my pocket chart. So before my kids are writing their story, they are going to decide which one of these sentence starters they're going to use. And so we say them together out loud. They repeat after me. We read them together. And then I give them examples using each one. And then I have them turn and tell each other. So they sit eye to eye, knee to knee. They turn and tell each other what their favorite sentence starter is. So they're going to give their partner a sentence, and they're going to practice with their argument using their sentence starter. So if they can talk about it, they can listen to their partner and listen to another person saying it. If they're having trouble coming up with something, they can listen to their partner when they turn and tell. So I do a lot of turn and tell, and that's really, really good for rigor and relevance. Okay, so that's really, really fun for persuasive writing. Another one you can do is perfect persuasion. I love doing this one also. So you know how I said that you can do a lot of different kinds of insects during April. You can talk about different insects. Well, you can read different books about insects, and then the kids are going to decide if they would love to be this insect or not. Yes or no. Okay, so if they are going to say yes, they circle yes right here in this writing craftivity. They're going to give 3 reasons why they would want to be a bumblebee. So this is a bumblebee one. So you could read a bumblebee story, and then they're going to write reason number 1, I prefer to be able to fly high in the sky. Reason number 2, in my opinion, making honey is the best thing ever. Reason number 3, I believe that bees have a wonderful family of helpers. Okay. And then they're going to draw a picture of themselves as a bumblebee at the bottom. Okay. So this can be like their planning page, and then they could copy it onto their writing page, and then you can staple those together. And then with their topper at the top, their little insect at the top. So I have them for ladybugs, I have them for ants, I have them for dragonflies, I have them for bumblebees and butterflies and grasshoppers. So, or if you don't want to do a writing craftivity, you can make these into interactive notebooks. So you can shrink these down to about 87% to fit into your composition notebook. So like this one right here is all about the ants. So we read, hey, little ant. And then this little boy, he circled, do you want to be an ant? He said no. And he said, reason number 1, I will die all the time. Now, reason number 2, it would be hard to get food. Reason number 3, it would be a hard life. Well, yeah, I agree, honey. It would be a hard life. And then at the bottom, he drew himself as an ant and then somebody trying to step on him. So yeah, I mean, it's just really fun, and it's really entertaining for them, and it's fun and engaging, and something that they can relate to, and because it's about themselves. If they were that animal, it's always great to make connections with the kids. So again, I have these in my TPT store, and there's a link in the comments if you're interested. Go up to the very, very top. The link is there, and all of these are 50% off today. This resource is called Perfect Persuasion. Okay, so it's got all of the different insects that you can have your kids write about. Super fun, super fun. Okay, moving on to plants. Okay, so plants is really fun if you want to do the life cycle of a plant. You can read Eric Carle's The Tiny Seed. You can read How a Seed Grows, The Reason for a Flower, A Tree is a Plant, My Garden by Kevin Hincks, Magic School Bus Plants a Seed, Zinnia's Flower Garden, Amazing Science Plants, Plants for Kids, Sunflowers. Lots of great stories for plants. So the possibilities are endless. So what I like to do is we grow a seed. We grow sunflowers. And so you can do sunflowers different ways. I've done them both ways. I've done them in the window. I've also done them in a cup with soil. Sunflowers, for some reason, they grow really fast. Like, they grow faster than beans do. I love growing sunflowers. So now what we do is we do the sunflower in a cup with soil. We put it on the windowsill, and then we watch it grow. And we have a seed journal. And here's my seed journal right here. It's a book that's in the shape of a pot. And then they're going to draw a sunflower on the front cover. They're going to write their name as the botanist. Then they're going to label the parts of the sunflower. Now, inside of the seed journal are different days that they can observe and they can write about their seed. Okay, so like day number 1, day number 2, day number 3. It goes all the way to day 10. And every day they're going to write a sentence right here. And then they're going to draw a picture of how their seed looks. So if you choose to do this journal, it's easier if you have the seed in the window, because if they can see through the plastic bag, they can watch the roots, okay? It's a little harder for them if you put it in the soil, and then all they're going to see is the stem coming up. They can't see the roots. So I would recommend that you put the seed in the window. Now, I just give them a small plastic bag, and it's a snack bag. It's a very small bag. And I put cotton balls inside, and I spritz some water in there. It's not very much water, because if you put too much water in there, it's going to mold, and then they will not grow, okay? And then I have these little house windows, these plant windows. They're going to make the window, and then you can tape the bag in the back of the window, and then they can observe them in the window. They're super cute, super fun. And then what I also do is you could have them replant these seeds in soil in a cup if you want them to. And then I have them bring these seeds home for their mom for Mother's Day. And then we decorate a cup later on that the seed will go into when they plant it. Let me go back one more time. So this is also a writing craft activity you can do, how to grow a watermelon. If you want to grow a watermelon, first, then next, and last. Have them taste watermelon. That's super fun. How does your garden grow? You can talk about tops and bottoms. And then you can have them make a diagram of all the different vegetables and then label the different parts, different vegetables. You can actually grow some of these vegetables if you want to. If you have a garden at school, the kids can help you plant seeds. And then you can write about in the tall, tall grass. This one, is a story about the different insects in the tall, tall grass. And then they're going to create their own picture with the grass and the insects and then write about it. So that's super cute. Okay, moving on to life cycles. Oh my gosh. So this year, my grade level has ordered praying mantises. And we are super excited to do praying mantises. We've done them every year in the past. And right now, they're just inside of their egg sac. They haven't hatched yet. So we just got them on Friday. So you could order praying mantises from Insect Lore. You can order butterflies. You can order ladybugs. If you live on a farm or a ranch or somewhere that has a pond or a tank or lake or whatever, you can go get some tadpoles, and then you could have some tadpoles in your class also. They're super fun. And some teachers love to hatch chicks in the incubator. So tell me in the comments what you guys like to do for life cycles. What do y'all like to grow? If y'all grow anything, tell me something that you like to do. I would love to know. So here's my favorite read alouds. I love to do Ladybugs by Gail Gibbons, From Tadpole to Frog, From Caterpillar to Butterfly, From Egg to Chicken, Bumblebees, and The Tiny Seed by Eric Carle. And then I love doing different writing craftivities with different insects. So for example, here is the blue morpho butterfly right here at the top. Since we're doing rainforest, I love to do the blue morpho butterfly. And then in the middle on his tummy, we have a circle, and it shows the life cycle of the blue morpho. And then it has labels like the butterfly, the eggs, the caterpillar, the chrysalis. And then in the middle here is the ladybug. So this is super fun. They write first, then next, and last. They draw, they color the picture of the different life cycle parts. And then his wings are on there with a brad, and then they open up, and underneath the wings is the circle of the life cycle. And then I glitter the spots and give them googly eyes and make the antennas, and they curl the antennas around their fingers. Super fun. Or you can do lap books. If you want to do a lap book, again, you can do research about this animal. You can do the praying mantis. Here is the cover of the lap book on that one. And then here's the chicken one, all about chickens. And so again, any writing template that you want the kids to do, you can staple inside of the lap book. Okay. Oh, Debbie says they do salmon eggs. Oh, how fun. That is super fun. Wow. That's right, because you live in Canada, so they're probably you probably get them easier up there. That's awesome, Debbie. Thanks for sharing. And or you could do the frog life cycle. This is the red-eyed tree frog from the rainforest here, and so on his tummy again. Here's the circle of the life cycle. They can make his arms and his legs out of accordion style. So you just get some strips of green, and then you fold it back and forth to make an accordion. And then they can color his little feet with red marker to give it little red circles, or you can give them the circle dot stickers to put on his feet. Give him some big eyes. He's going to color red eyes, and then his little tongue. So super fun for life cycles. Okay. So moving on to Earth Day. So Earth Day is in April. It is on April the 22nd. And so these are my favorite read alouds for Earth Day. I love the Lorax, of course. Earth Day, every day. The Earth Book. Recycle. Big Earth, Little Me. Why should I recycle? Earth Day, hooray. Rally for recycling. What does it mean to be green? So I have a couple of writing activities that I like to do for Earth Day. I give my kids an earth. They're going to color the earth, and then I give them a big red heart. And so we glue the heart on top of the earth. And then they can write, on Earth Day, I pledge to. Or they can write, we love our earth because, or I can help the earth by. So there's a lot of different templates in this resource. That's also in my TPT stores, 50% off. And then you get a choice of all these different toppers that you can use. Here's a trash can, a recycled can of all the recycled products here. Here's a heart with the circles for recycling. And then, of course, the heart on the earth. And then up here is the Lorax. If you want to do a really fun project, you can make the truffula trees with the popsicle sticks. So if you glue the popsicle sticks on the paper and then draw lines on them, draw stripes on them, and then glue a pom-pom at the top, those are super cute. And then you can make a little Lorax here, and then you're going to have him quote. You can have him quote any part of the book, but my favorite part is the part where he says, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. And then I added, we need to care about our earth, plant trees, flowers, and forests. The animals need our help, so think about what we can do to help in the future. Okay? And so that can be a really fun Lorax project. Those truffula trees turn out really cute. So you can also do a project-based learning unit called a PBL. If you're familiar with PBLs, these are project-based learning units that you can incorporate reading, writing, math, science, social studies all together. It's kind of like a thematic unit, but it also has a lot of rigor and relevance attached to it. And so this is like a planning page that you can talk about paper, plastic, or metal. This is a recycling unit that I like to do. And so you can write a list of paper, write a list of plastic, write a list of metal, and then they're going to bring in these recycled products from home. They can bring in newspaper. They can bring in gallon jugs. They can bring in toilet paper rolls. They can bring in plastic water bottles. They can bring in egg cartons. And then they're going to create something with the recycled products. Okay, so you're gonna get them with a group, and then they can color the materials here because this is their planning page, and then they're gonna talk about what they're gonna make. They can make a bird feeder, they can make a hummingbird feeder, they can make something that they can use that's in nature. So they're gonna decide what they're gonna do. There's a recycling poem that's also in the resource. It's to the tune of Frere Jacques. And then my animal habitat. So you're going to write about the different habitats around the world and why should we take care of them, and then their habitat, the animal, the climate, and the bodies of water that goes along with that. So these are some pictures of my kids. A couple years ago, they were planning out their recycled product, and most of them made a bird feeder. So I gave them a planning page. They were going to draw a design. So here you can see this little girl drew a design, and then she wrote the steps first, then next and last on how they made it. And then they're working together as a group. They have cotton balls, they have boxes, they have pipe cleaners, they have a toilet paper roll, egg cartons, a gallon jug. Then you can give them glue and tape and whatever that you want to give them to put their project together. And then they're going to write material number 1, material number 2, number 3, number 4, and then they're going to illustrate what they use to make their recycled product. Okay? And that's really, really fun. That takes a couple of weeks to do. Okay, we're going to move on to math. So a couple of things you can do for math. If you need like some fun spring math projects, then I love to do insect measuring. So I have the kids make 5 different insects. So you can see here at the bottom, this little boy made a butterfly, a caterpillar, an ant, a grasshopper, and a beetle. Okay. He put them in order from least to greatest. Okay. I taught them how to make this grass where you cut the top of the grass and then you flip it down. And then I gave them cubes, snap cubes. And what they're going to do is they're going to measure each insect after they glue it on the paper. They're going to measure each insect. So he's measuring the caterpillar right here. So the caterpillar is about 3 cubes long. Well, maybe 4. Yeah, 4 cubes long. And then I give them this paper up here. It says, we're bugging out. And then bug number 1 can be the little one. So he's going to put how many cubes long was bug number 1. And then bug number 1 was the ant. Bug number 2 was the bumblebee. And so he's going to write how many cubes long that one is. And then bug number 3 would be the beetle. And then they would write how many cubes. And so they're comparing and putting the insects in order. And then they're going to write a story problem that goes along with their insects. And then a number sentence that goes at the bottom. One really cool story you could read is In the Tall, Tall Grass by Denise Fleming. And then you can also give them this insect measuring page that has the cubes already done for you. You can have them compare these cubes here, and then they're gonna color these little numbers at the bottom, and then they're gonna glue them on top of their insect. And then they can show who's the least and the greatest, who's the longest and the shortest. Okay? So that's a really fun project that you can do for math. Another fun project you can do is fractions. So you can make a gumball machine, and you can have the kids illustrate or make different gumballs. So they can make yellow, they can make blue or green or red, and then they're going to make gumball fractions. So they're going to put a total of 10, or this one has 12. So you can put a total of 12 gumballs, and then 2 out of 12 gumballs are red. 3 out of 12 gumballs are blue. 4 out of 12 gumballs are yellow. 3 out of 12 gumballs are green. So then you have them write their fractions according to what colors they have. Another one you can do for fractions is making a pizza. Make a fraction pizza. So it says, I divided my pizza into fourths and I shared it with, and then they can write their friends who they shared it with. Okay? So there's some cute ideas for fractions. Another really cute idea is they can make a caterpillar, and it's just called a fraction pillar. And so they're going to do different colors of the caterpillar. Again, it's kind of like the gumball machine. 3 out of 8 circles are green. 2 out of 8 circles are pink. 2 out of 8 circles are yellow. 1 out of 8 circles are orange. And then they're going to make their little caterpillar, and they're going to draw his little feet, his little legs with a black marker. Give him some googly eyes. Draw a little mouth, and then they're going to get some little strips of black construction paper, and then they can make the antenna. Okay? Super cute. If you haven't played Bump yet, Bump is so fun. And so this is one of the games that I also have in my math holiday subscription box. And so Bump is really easy to play. All you need is 2 dice, and you need some snap cubes. And so each child is going to get 1 set of cubes. So they need 10 cubes of each color. Okay? So that means that they're going to have 10 of the same color. So they could have 10 white, they could have 10 green, they could have 10 pink. And so they roll the dice. Whatever the sum is, they are going to add the 2 numbers together on their dice. They're going to take 1 snap cube, and they're going to lay the cube on top of their bunny, whatever the sum is. Okay? If they roll the same sum again, they get to stack their cube on top of the first cube. Then they're safe, and then that means their partner cannot bump them off. But if they only have one cube and their partner rolls the same sum, their partner can bump them off, and their partner can put their cube on that bunny instead. So whoever uses all their cubes first wins the game. Okay? The free space on there is the 11 and the 12. So bump is super fun. And this little girl over here, she's got some addition questions on Easter eggs. I just wrote some addition questions. And then on the platter here, I wrote some numbers of the sums. And then she's going to match the Easter egg sum and then put the Easter eggs down. She's figuring out what the sum is, and then she's matching the sum with the question. So that's super fun. You can do that with subtraction and addition. Okay? Another thing you can do is addition, subtraction, math mats. These are another game that I put in my math subscription box. And by the way, if you guys are interested in my subscription box, let me know and I can send you the link to check it out. It is in my teacher membership. So this is the addition and subtraction math mats that I have for Easter. And then you could use bunny erasers. You can use Easter egg erasers, bug erasers, jelly beans, plastic bugs. You can use plastic eggs. They're going to create a picture with their manipulatives at the top. And then they're going to make the number sentence, write the number sentence at the bottom. I also have addition and subtraction cards that have story problems on them. Okay? Or if you want to use these plastic insects, these are fun. You get those plastic insects from Hobby Lobby or Amazon or Walmart, and then I have this big leaf on my math mat, and then they can create the bugs on their leaf and make them really look really icky and creepy and crawly, and then they can write a subtraction sentence at the bottom to create their number sentence. Okay, so that's really, really fun. All right, guys, if you are tired of staying up late on the evenings and your weekends planning for your classroom, I want to know in the comments, how much time do you spend a week on lesson plans? I know that lesson plans can be very daunting. The Sunday scaries are for real. I know, I've been there. But I have created free lesson plans for you that are all about rainforests. Okay, they include materials, anchor charts, interactive notebooks where you already have it made for you and all you have to do is print them out. So you don't have any more night sweats. Okay, so these are my cross-curricular lesson plans for rainforests. These are absolutely free. I'm going to put a link in the comments later for you to sign up. And you can sign up for free, and then you can there's 5 different days of emails that you're going to get. The first day is all about reading. The second day is writing. The third day is math. The fourth day is poetry. The fifth day is science. So I'm going to let you listen to watch a quick little video.
Hey, fabulous teachers. This is Kara Rickman from Create Your Balance with Literacy. Are you ready to learn about rainforests with free cross-curricular lesson plans with easy prep? These lesson plans include objectives, suggested mentor text, anchor charts, skill cards, interactive notebooks, and writing craftivities. For Reader's Workshop, the objective is I can identify and describe the author's purpose for persuasive. For Writer's Workshop, the objective is I can write a persuasive story about why we should save the rainforest. For Focus Poetry, the objective is I can visualize and create a mental image for my poem. For Math Workshop, the objective is I can compare numbers that are greater than or less than or equal to. And for Science, the objective is I can create a rainforest habitat by showing the different layers. All of this could be yours if you click the link to sign up on my email list. You can get your free lesson plans immediately with no prep. Let's take your classroom to the next level. Until next time, bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go over each one with you really quickly. And so you can see what they entail, okay? So the first email, like I said, is all about Reader's Workshop. And so the objective says, I can identify and describe the author's purpose. You're going to read The Great Kapok Tree. It has an interactive notebook already in it. It already has the anchor chart already in it also, okay? So you can shrink this down if you want to put it in your interactive notebook. Okay. The Great Kapok Trees by Lynn Cherry. That's awesome. Okay. The second day is going to be Writer's Workshop. You're going to read Rainforests by Helen Coucher. It says, I can write a persuasive story about saving the rainforest. Okay. Then this is where you're going to have them do the writing craftivity. They're going to make the rainforest layers with the different labels and the animals that show the different layers. And then they're going to write a persuasive story about how they can save the rainforest. So it's got the writing template. It has the writing page in there. It has the animals. It has the labels. And it has a persuasive text vocabulary card for you to use on your document camera. The third day is poetry. Okay. The objective is I can visualize and create a mental image for my poem. The poem is called Animal Stalking. It's going to be a shared reading. Okay. And then you're going to give them the poem to glue into their poetry notebook if you have a poetry notebook. Or if you don't have a poetry notebook, you can use it, just glue it in your reader's notebook. It's fine. So they're going to glue it on the left side, and then on the right side, they're going to create a mental image. Okay. So the objectives is I can visualize and create a mental image for my poem. Okay. And then I have an anchor chart that's all about visualizing. That's already in the plans. Okay. That's day number 3. Day number 4 is math workshop. So the objective is I can compare numbers that are greater than, less than, or equal to. You can read More or Less, a Rainforest Counting Book by Rebecca Davis. And then you can use this interactive notebook that has Al the Alligator on there. You can give them some dice that have different numbers on the dice. They roll the dice and then they put the numbers greater than, less than. Here's the anchor chart that's already in there for you, and it talks about comparing numbers. Okay, so it's already there. That's day number 4. Day number 5 is science. And so science, you're going to create the rainforest habitat by showing the different layers. So if you remember, on day 2 is the writing part. Okay, that's the persuasive story. And then on day 5, you're going to get the science part, which is the animals, the labels, and the parts of the rainforest that they can glue onto their project. Okay. And then it has a rainforest habitat vocabulary card here. And then you're going to read Nature's Green Umbrella by Gail Gibbons. Okay. So super fun. Okay. So like I said, I'm going to post that in my Facebook group in a little bit, that you can sign up for those free lesson plans if you want to. They're absolutely free. And then if you would like a PD credit for today, then I'm offering 1 hour of PD credit today. So if you're interested, just message me after we're finished and I can send you 1 hour of credit. It's got my CPE number on there because I'm CPE certified. Okay. All right. So I think I don't see any questions on the comments today. So thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm going to go ahead and select a winner. I'm going to select Gina Stumpo Negron. And Gina, you're my winner. Yay, Gina! You can decide if you would like Rainforest Research Thematic Unit, or if you want the Endangered Animal Research and Writing, or if you want my Holiday Easter Writing Center, or if you would like the Easter Bunny's Assistant Story Companion. Okay, Gina? So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you have a happy Easter, and stay tuned for the next webinar. It's going to be at the end of April. It's going to be all about May. So tell your teacher friends to join our Facebook group. I would love for you to invite them in. That is fabulous. Tell them all about my teacher membership. Tell them about my free webinars, and invite some more people in. So you guys have a wonderful day. Enjoy your kids. Happy Easter. And I'll see you next time. Until next time, let's take your classroom to the next level. Bye, guys. Mwah.